Filipino dad's obsessive love for daughter ends horribly. House on Zapote Street, True Crime Asia. A lot of you guys linked this over. I'm interested in seeing it. There's a lot of stuff that be going on. And honestly, this channel looks pretty cool that you guys linked over. So let's just check this out, man. It's some true crime stuff. So without further ado, come join me. Let's see it. Oh, this is a dope little intro. Hold on. Dark Asia with Megan. Megan's Case Files, true crime cases across Asia.
Today's case is from the Philippines. Besides its breathtaking islands, the Philippines is also known for its people's hospitality and strong family ties.
Yep.
These values are rooted in the country's Christian faith, with almost 90% of the population being Roman Catholic.
Yep.
This has led to the formation of strong communities and a culture of caring and respect for one another. It is rare to see a household without grandparents or extended family members in the Philippines. Parents expect their children to take care of them until old age, daughters especially.
And by the way, we do this in my Brazilian household too. Grandma is with me, mom is with, everyone's with me. It's just natural, right? And this is culture, right? A lot of different cultures have a lot of different things, but I do find that one of the most beautiful things. I think that's also why I love the Philippines a lot, because it does remind me a lot of Brazilian culture. We stay with our family too. It's like a regular thing, no matter how much money you make, no matter where you are in your life. It's like you're taking care of your family, because what is the point of living your life if you're just going to go be alone? It's weird, right? If you're going to be alone with your mom and dad, like, be alone with your mom, dad, be alone with your siblings. It's just like you feel more close to who you are when you're around who made you who you are, right? In that sense, you are still who you are regardless. But I mean, in the sense that the people who raised you, I feel like being around them as well will always keep you grounded. And I find that a well thing, like a very beautiful thing. And so, yeah.
But what happens if this cultural trait is pushed to the extreme?
And then this.
What if a parent never wants their child to leave home? Today we will talk about the Cabading family carnage, which is one of the worst real-life crimes that shocked the nation in the 1960s.
Wait, so they never wanted her to leave the house, period? Like to even go out with friends? Like, hey, I'm coming back. No. That's crazy.
The psychological and social relevance of this case has not diminished after 6 decades. It is a dark tale of true love, heartbreak, and jealousy. Let's begin with our case, the Cabading family murders, otherwise known as the house on Zapote Street.
Yo.
In the evening of January 18th, 1961, 4 shots were heard at 1074 Zapote Street, Makati.
I was in Makati.
The house belonged to the Cabading family.
No!
Upon entering the room where the shots came from, the police could hear an anguished voice crying out for them to push the door. They turned the lights on and saw that the entire room was spattered with blood. Mrs. Asuncion Cabading's body was apparently blocking the door. From what they could see, she was shot in the chest and stomach, but was still breathing. Based on the Manila Chronicle story that subsequently shocked the whole nation, she sustained 8 wounds and was on the brink of death at this point. She was strewn across her daughter, Lydia Cabading, who was laid on top of her dead husband's body, Dr. Leonardo Quitangon. As it turned out, Pablo Cabading, the family patriarch, was responsible for their deaths. He was also found dead at the bloody murder scene, appearing to have committed suicide.
They always do that.
After the shooting.
They always do that.
Mrs. Cabading would later recount the incident. Pablo Cabading shot Lydia while she shielded her husband. Mrs. Cabading was shot when she tried to shield her daughter.
Ah, that hurts. Bro, that hurts. The last memory that you're going to have is trying to save her. That is a beautiful thing in the sense that she instantly thought of shielding her daughter, protecting her daughter. That is also a mother instinct. I guarantee you, any mothers in the comments, you can feel that. just natural. You don't really think about it. Hey, I'm going to protect my child right here. It just kind of naturally happens because of that instinct that's kind of built into you evolutionary wise or just in general. It's the same thing with animals. Like they have that instinct to protect their children or their newborn. But then again, you can go into like, okay, well, they also let the newborn find out themselves. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the documentary of the mama bird literally jumps off the nest and says, hey, you're either going to die or you're going to fly, because the babies need to learn how to fly. And some of them die when they jump off. They have to go. The mom's just like watching them like, hey, jump. Some of them die, some of them survive. But that's also just, animal, like that's the habitat, right, that they are in, that you have to learn because there's always these prey around. So I think that kind of establishes an idea, and I'm not saying we're animals, but I am saying that there is that idea that still remains with humans, right? That natural instinct to push them on, like, hey, you got to do this on your own, and I will be there to protect you, either or. So I do find it a very beautiful thing, but at the same time, it's so heartbreaking to see that was the last thing. She was shot trying to shield her daughter.
What would cause such a tragedy to take place? What would push a father to murder his own family?
Yeah, that too, bro.
In 1960, Dr. Leonardo Kitangon, a 35-year-old doctor and professor, met Lydia Kabating, who was 23 years old and a medical intern. They began to date. They watched movies, basketball games, and he took her home to meet his family in Santa Mesa, Manila, a couple of times. Lydia was a timid and sweet girl, but there was something strange about her. She rarely spoke about her home life or childhood. No fond memories were ever shared. She was on alert whenever she had to stay out late. In a panic, she would often say, "I'll have to let my father know first," and would rush home. Her boyfriend's family would recount that, of course, they understood the culture. Lydia was the only child, so she had to be protected at all times. But the Kitangon brothers often wondered about the extreme strictness of Pablo Kabating, Lydia's father, who was a retired cop. He would take her to school and fetch her immediately after classes. He would threaten to arrest young men who stared at Lydia.
Damn.
He possessed an overbearing, authoritarian attitude typical of a Manila police officer.
Yeah, he was a cop, so...
Because Lydia was about to take the board exam, Leonardo, being a professor, wanted to help her study. He frequented the house, and her family seemed to like him just fine. Lydia's mother, Asuncion, 45, was the very definition of submission. She spoke only when allowed by her husband. He acted as if his word was the law.
Dude.
When Lydia passed the board exam...
This is an example of abuse, in the sense, mental abuse, physical abuse probably, right? I don't know. She might explain that later on. But what I do know is that's obvious, that it's abuse in some form. And he's so accustomed to that idea that submission is going to happen when I speak, that whenever anything goes on around him, he's expecting the same thing. Everyone will be submissive towards me, period. That's how it should work. And that's how he feels, right? Because he's already getting that from his wife. And so he's going to expect that from his kid. It's probably working with the kid. It's probably going to work, or he thinks it's probably going to work with everyone else. Things go bad, bro.
Couple asked Pablo for permission to get married. In exchange for Pablo's permission, the couple were required to live at the house on Zapote Street with Pablo. Having no choice but to obey the patriarch, Leonardo did as he was told. Soon after, Leonardo understood why Lydia was withdrawn and mysterious about her home life. There was something creepy about Pablo's obsession with his daughter. When the couple was dating, Pablo would often join the two. He would often complain when he was seated at the back of the car and would want to join the couple up front. The couple was forbidden from chatting in their bedroom when Leonardo came home from work. They were expected to stay in the living room where Pablo could keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Even during their honeymoon, Pablo demanded Lydia spend the night in her mother's room instead of with her husband because her mother allegedly had a toothache.
Okay, now he's lying, and on top of that, they're married, bro. Yo, you allow them to be married. You have to have some form of trust with this man if you're going to allow them to get married, but then continue to treat them like there's no respect. There's something, yeah, there is something sinister about this. Clearly, this ain't going to end well.
Numerous other reasons besides the toothache were given following these demands for separate nightly arrangements. Leonardo became increasingly agitated. During this time, Pablo's behavior grew more erratic and violent. Leonardo became more determined to remove his wife from such a toxic environment as the day passed.
Of course.
Pablo's response to this was, "If she goes with you, I'll shoot her in the head before your eyes."
Oh my gosh. Yo, if you heard something like that, you gotta, you know what I would do at this point? If the father told me that, right? What would I do? I'd be like, step one. No, I won't do that, man. I won't do that. Let me sit back and think about this, right? I would start planning in my head a way to get her out where the dude won't know, he won't expect it, he's caught off guard, I'm being submissive. You got to do this, bro. You got to find a way around it. I'm going to be submissive, I'm going to do all this, try and get bro on my side, man, right? And then right when that time hits, you see him, he's knocked out, sleep like this. Grab her, get out. Boom, right? And then I'll probably talk to the police. And I'll be like, hey, listen, he might do something to the wife, to the mom. He's been saying stuff about shooting and this and that. Please, make sure. And that's what I would do.
This prompted his brothers to persuade him to buy a gun of his own, but Leonardo insisted on carrying his rosary instead. Pablo continued his tyranny. During Lydia's oath-taking as a physician, he forbade Leonardo to attend the ceremony. The reason was that Pablo paid everything for Lydia's schooling while he paid none, so Leonardo shouldn't be part of the glory. Pablo was shutting him down for no reason. As the months passed and the situation worsened, Leonardo decided to move out. He couldn't take Lydia with him because she was too scared.
Oh, you see, that would have fooled my plan. Like, imagine, even if he was asleep, she was too scared. That's another sign of abuse as well. Like, even though there's that chance where you could leave right now, they have this in their blood almost, that they have this fear, this intense fear, like, I can't leave. And he's made that known in so many ways, through action, through words. He's made that known in so many ways that whenever I even have the idea, the glimpse of being able to escape, it scares me, it terrifies me. That is an intense sign of abuse, clearly. It's so sad, bro, because, like, this is happening all over the world. But obviously, this is a little more extreme in the sense that they got married and he wants to be a part of it. Like, this is just creepy. There's one, there's the dad's love, but the grip he has on her is ridiculously insane. Like, it's scary insane. Sitting in front of the car, like, always, I want to be here, I want to be there, I want to see this, I want to see that. Yo, he wants more, and it's terrifying.
He couldn't get in touch with her for weeks afterwards, since no contact was possible outside the house. Lydia was only allowed outside the house if accompanied by family members.
Like,
this
what?
only changed when she was employed in a hospital. He quickly went to visit her only to meet Pablo. Leonardo found out the next day that she was no longer working there. He soon discovered that Lydia was pregnant and tried to cover all her prenatal expenses, but the payments were returned. One day, Leonardo received a frantic phone call from his wife, pleading with him to take her. He immediately got her out of the house and drove to his family house in Cavite. As he traveled, he warned his brothers in Santa Mesa to keep their mother safe. A few hours later, a taxi arrived at Gitangon's residence in Santa Mesa. Lydia's parents emerged from the vehicle and shouted at the Gitangon's gate, demanding her daughter be returned. The younger brothers of Leonardo, Jean and Nonilo, tried to calm them down and talk things out. They said Lydia wasn't with them, she was with her husband. At that moment, Pablo returned to the taxi, grabbed his submachine gun from a box, and pointed it at Jean. He threatened to shoot everyone if they didn't produce his daughter right away. With the gun to his face, Jean tried to pacify Pablo and invited him inside the house because they were causing a scene outside.
Wow.
Ever conscious of his public image, Pablo lowered his gun. He gave the family until midnight to return his daughter.
That's insane. So you think they knew that he cared about his image? Because if you have a submachine gun to your face, oh, because one little slip. Oh, nah. That's like one of the scariest things. I know you guys probably have experienced not the gun part, but someone aiming like a rubber band at your face, right? In school. Those idiots. Those snobby little big snot rocket kids in class, bro. They aim it at your face. You're like, dude, stop. Right? Like, stop. They're like, dude, I'm not going to do it. And then it slips and it hits you. They're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. It's like, bro, really? So imagine that, right? But not with the rubber band like in class. With an actual weapon. Please. I would be like, yo, please stop. Like, no, bro. But the fact that he was able to pacify him still and be, hey, man, come on in. That's impeccable right there. Good job on them. But please, please don't make me say this and swallow my words, bro. Please. Please don't tell me he does something to them.
Otherwise, the family should have the place guarded by the police. Jean then went to the couple in Cavite. Jean relayed to them what happened in Santa Mesa, the machine gun to his face, and the ultimatum. Shaken and desperate by the situation, Lydia sank to a low point in her heart. Lydia had had enough. In a burst of emotion, she confessed that she had never been truly happy. She finally told them about Pablo's temper. It would only take a snap of the fingers for the smiles, fondness, and caresses to change into physical abuse.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Against everyone's warning, they decided to go back to the Zapote house. In a panic, Leonardo's father offered to go to the house with his sons and try to reason with Pablo. When he did, however, Leonardo's father was pleasantly surprised to find Pablo in good spirits. He was full of smiles and happy greetings. He even said he didn't object to Lydia moving out. The Gitangons were overjoyed by this great news. It all seemed to go well until the next morning. The next morning, Pablo called up the Santa Mesa house and said that Mrs. Cabating had fallen ill and asked her daughter to come over. Jean and Nonilo accompanied Lydia to help move her things from the Zapote house to the couple's new apartment. But when they arrived, it was pretty clear to them that Mrs. Cabating faked her sickness and pretended to be asleep on the sofa. Jean even smiled at this childishness of the situation. But Lydia knew better, and she immediately began packing her things. Mrs. Cabating, who was supposedly ill, ran after her. Pablo then told the brothers that he wanted the couple to stay in Zapote after all.
Oh my God.
He said he built the house for Lydia, and if she wants it, everybody will move out for her. When Jean came back home without her and told Leonardo what had happened, Leonardo tried to go back to the Zapote house to get her. Jean, worried, told him not to go alone.
Of course.
Don't force Lydia to come with you. If she doesn't want to, leave at once. Do not be persuaded to stay there too. This was the last conversation the brothers had. Soon after, Nonilo called Jean, distress clear in his voice, saying he heard 4 shots from Lydia's room. Jean immediately sent his younger brother to inform the family lawyer and alert the Makati police. And that was how the police found the slain family. According to Leonardo's brother's testimony, when he and Leonardo arrived, Pablo allowed Leonardo up to Lydia's room. Mrs. Cabading soon followed up to Lydia's room with a glass of milk. He soon heard a scream and someone sobbing. Pablo went upstairs and entered the room and closed the door. What followed were 3 shots. Based on the description, it's possible that the killer had feelings of jealousy or rage
jealousy,
and acted impulsively in a moment of intense emotion. It's also possible that Pablo had planned the attack in advance. In either case, the result was a heartbreaking tragedy.
I think what he did was he started realizing very quickly that he was losing that grip on her because she was getting more and more, not confident, but more and more in a decision where I don't want to be here anymore, especially when she first had that kind of explanation to the husband saying like, yeah, dude, no. He's been abusing me. I've never been truly happy. I haven't been happy whatsoever, right? Basically saying I've been faking being happy. Maybe he heard that. Even if he didn't, he could probably tell, because even though he's a horrible person for this, you could still tell that as a dad or as a mom or as anyone, right? Someone you're close to or know, you could tell when something's wrong. And the dad for sure probably felt the vibe that the daughter wanted to leave. It just wanted to leave really, really bad now, right? And they got the apartment stuff. All of this is happening. And he felt that. And he knew that the only way, this is horrible, bro. The only way that he could probably, in his twisted head, right? The only way I could keep her forever is if I take her, right? And you know what I mean by that, like take her life. It's horrible, bro. The thinking that some of these people have in situations like this, there was something definitely wrong with him, for sure, in the sense that he might have had, like, I don't know if it's necessarily an illness for this kind of obsession, but it doesn't happen regularly. There had to have been something in his head that kind of created this scary obsession, because this is an obsession beyond like regular. Obsession is just weird overall, but I'm saying like this is like past obsession, right? He's not obsessing in the sense that like, you know, I want you here all the time, but he's like obsessed to the point where I will take my life with me. Like, you know what I mean? There's like levels to obsession. Would you guys agree? There's like obsession. Okay, back away, weirdo. But and then there's like killing obsession. Like, bro is like, he's taking it to a level where this is it, or that's all. Like, this is it. The end. And it's kind of terrifying.
This case is one of the most well-known real-life horror stories in the country because it touched upon the core values of Filipinos.
Yeah.
Respect for authority, family ties, and strong Catholic faith. What would have happened if Leonardo armed himself with a gun instead of a rosary? Would they still be alive if they didn't just resign their fate to prayers that one evening? The story was immortalized in art, a book made popular, and its subsequent film adaptation that made it to the Cannes Film Festival. The book adaptation of the story became popular when the Philippines was under martial law, and the subject of an authoritarian figure like Pablo Cabading was definitely a controversial topic because of the political climate at the time.
Yeah.
The movie adaptation of this story, which debuted in 1981, is still regarded as one of the best films in the country to date. The film was revolutionary because it featured incest on screen for the first time. It was revealed that the film director insinuated sexual relations between the father and the daughter, causing Pablo to go insane with jealousy. This was supported by the book author when he disclosed a disturbing detail about the story.
Oh my gosh.
Pablo, unbeknownst to the young couple, sometimes hid under their bed as they slept. Speculations were rife that something strange might have been going on in the household that the family wanted to keep quiet about.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yo, it makes sense too, right? The mom is submissive. She might have known. This is also a story that also happened in the US, I'm pretty sure, where the mom knew something similar like this. The mom knew, right? But she was so submissive to the abuse that you don't even let your brain acknowledge what's going on with the daughter and the dad there. We know clearly. And you can't do anything because being abused. And I'm not saying that the mom is all like, obviously the mom should have done something, right? She should have, but she was such in a submissive state in the sense that she was abused for so long in mentally, right? And probably physically, that you don't even like process that fact that you could do something, right? And she still went to protect her daughter, try to shield her daughter in the end. But I think that is the most disgusting, terrifying thing I have ever heard, dude.
Was Pablo's intense jealousy because of the thought that Lydia was his possession, his secret lover? Was Pablo the father of the child Lydia was carrying?
What?
In fact, Mrs. Kabating filed a temporary restraining order to prevent the film from being shown to the public in a desperate attempt to protect the privacy of her family. The true details of their relationship remain shrouded in mystery, only known between the two of them.
Oh my gosh.
On 1074 Zapote Street, the pretty little house Pablo Kabating built for his Lydia is the only witness to what really happened.
Bro.
That's all for today.
That was a good video.
Thanks for watching.
Yo, that was a good video. There's so much to it like that, man. And I guarantee you guys can tell me in the comments some more about it. But jeez, bro. Jeez, that was a good video. Let me know if you guys want me to watch more like this. Love you guys. How good you been living? Wait, how good you been living? I've been living too good for you. I've been living too. Did what I did and I do it again. Every move that I make, I ain't feeling repent. Nobody believes to believe it's a friend, and you question your moves like you really won't end.